Well, good afternoon, whatever you are, and welcome to the tenement castle of Dr. Paul Bearer.
If that entrance brings a smile to your face, you might be one of the lucky ones who grew up with Dr. Paul Bearer. But even if you've never heard of him, stick around. You're going to hear about how a ghoulish undertaker became TV's longest-running horror host, and why he means so much to fans decades later. It was his dedication that endeared Dr. Paul Bearer to his audience. Week after week, he'd introduce horrible old movies with a mix of corny puns, sight gags, and ghoulish charm that kept viewers coming back for more.
Run a little late today, so I stopped by one of those quickie food joints and picked up, thought I'd try some chicken McMaggots today. Well, let me see how these things... I was just sitting here in my uneasy chair reading one of my favorite books, which is Mutants on the Bounty by Android. Very appropriate book to be reading this afternoon because our horrible old movie happens to be called Mutants.
But here's something that might surprise you. Before he was scaring up laughs as his Dr. Paul Bearer character, Dick Bennick was a rock and roll DJ. Yep, all the way back in 1949, a young Dick Bennick first stepped behind a radio microphone in Charlotte, North Carolina. Imagine him spinning records and introducing the likes of Elvis and Chuck Berry to wide-eyed teens. It was here that he honed his iconic voice and knack for entertaining. He went on to host local events and even started producing records. And yes, you're reading that correctly. This band was called the Satans. How fitting is that? By the mid-1960s, Bennick had transitioned to TV, trying his hand at everything from interview shows to weather reporting. Now you might be wondering, how does one go from weatherman to ghoulish undertaker? Well, it wasn't an overnight transformation. In fact, Bennick's first attempt at horror hosting was a bit of a grave mistake. Enter Count Shockula, a skeletal character that, despite Bennick's best efforts, just didn't click with audiences. But Bennick wasn't about to let this setback bury his dreams. Instead, he came up with a killer idea, literally. Bennick launched a contest asking viewers how to kill off Count Shockula. Talk about audience participation. From the ashes of Count Shockula rose Dr. Paul Bearer, a character Bennick crafted with the precision of a master mortician. The stringy hair parted down the middle, inspired by horror host Zachary. The sinister beard, borrowed from a Vincent Price movie, and that iconic scar. In a 1991 interview, he told author and film historian Ed Tucker about that scar.
So, anyway, I put all this stuff together and tried it out. Thought there was something missing, and almost as an afterthought, I added a scar. And figured I would never really explain the scar, I just kind of liked it, you see, and that seemed to make it click.
With his new persona perfected, Dr. Paul Bearer took to the airwaves, and a legend was born. After the commercial break, we'll dive into the golden age of creature feature and unearth some of Dr. Paul Bearer's best bits.
This man has agreed to demonstrate how refreshing Irish Spring is.
Oh, there's something about Irish Spring. Oh, yes, it makes me want to sing.
All I did was eat a chili dog with pickles, and all of a sudden I'm living in Siberia. So I take a claret. Hey, where did you come from?
Isn't it cool? Isn't it cool to drink cherry 7-Up?
Well, Bright fans, I hope you're enjoying The Devil's Bride. Quite frankly, I think I'd enjoy it a bit more if I had a bit of libation. Something to wet the old whistle with. And today I thought it might be pretty good to have a little bit of early tunes. Sorry, here, let me pour about 2 fingers. Okay. Yeah, 2 fingers ought to be enough. Let's see, that ought to be about 2 fingers there. Yep, sure is. So while I enjoy 2 fingers of early tunes, maybe you can enjoy some more of our horrible old movie. Here's blood in your eye.
In 1973, Bennick moved to Florida, bringing Dr. Paul Bearer with him. He landed at WTOG in St. Petersburg, or as the good doctor called it, St. Creaturesburg. It was here that Creature Feature would become a Saturday afternoon institution. Now, you might think hosting a show about monsters would be a relaxing weekend gig. Think again. In that Ed Tucker interview, he said he would come in between 7:30 and 8 o'clock in the morning. It took 30 to 45 minutes to get made up and in costume. They might not start taping until 9:30 or 10 a.m., although the crew was called for 8 a.m. And get this, Bennick would tape 3 months' worth of shows in a single day. Talk about a graveyard shift. It was this dedication that endeared Dr. Paul Bearer to his audience. He loved corny puns and showed off all sorts of funny fake products during his bits. Ever wonder what a ghoul's favorite breakfast cereal might be? According to Dr. Paul Bearer, it was Lice Krispies, or Morn Flakes. And don't forget to wash it down with a refreshing can of Choke.
Or are we to that point in the movie? Quite frankly, I didn't care for it. I've been reading the latest issue of TV Died magazine. Sorry, we're into the second season. Let's see. Well, Bright fans, I hope you're enjoying our horrible old movie. Quite frankly, I didn't care for it. And when I was in my local supermarket, the Gash and Scary supermarket, I picked up an issue of Scar, the weekly newspaper. Oh boy, story in here about the romance between Hurt. Here it is, the Saturday after Halloween, and due to the magic of television and the fact that I have a split personality, I'm also in Mulberry at their big carnival and haunted house this afternoon. But here in the tenement castle, I've got a can of Fright Guard. Why do I have my can of Fright Guard? Well, that's in case there are any leftover ghosts from Halloween. You gotta be... wait a minute. I thought today I might try that new cereal I've been hearing a lot about. It's put out by the Kellogg's company, and it's called Ghost. It's a new mouthwash, Blisterine.
Blisterine?
Yeah, that's good for bat breath.
I'll give it a try.
Okay. I don't know about you, but watching these things on a Saturday afternoon sort of makes me want to sneak or snack. So today I thought I'd enjoy one of my old favorites, which is blueberry pie.
By 1993, Dr. Paul Bearer had become such a beloved figure in Tampa that Mayor Sandy Friedman declared October 30th Dr. Paul Bearer Day. It was a fitting tribute to a man who had, by that point, become the longest-running horror host in television history.
The anniversary celebration will be held at Busch Gardens on Saturday, October the 30th, 1993. You are old.
Oh, yeah.
Now, therefore, Sandra Friedman, by virtue of the authority vested in her as mayor of the city of Tampa, do hereby proclaim October the 30th, 1993 as Dr. Paul Bearer Day in the city of Tampa, and urge all citizens to join me in congratulating Dr. Paul Bearer.
This dedication didn't go unnoticed by fans. Dr. Paul Bearer had a way of connecting with audiences of all ages. Perhaps it was his ability to make even the cheesiest B-movie feel like an event. Or maybe it was just the comfort of knowing that every Saturday, rain or shine, Dr. Paul Bearer would be there, lurking for you. Sadly, all good things must come to an end, even for the undead. Dick Bennick passed away in 1995 during heart bypass surgery at 66 years old. But while Bennick may be gone, Dr. Paul Bearer lives on in the memories of his fans. His influence can be seen in horror hosts who followed, and in the countless viewers who discovered a love for the genre through his show. In an era of streaming and on-demand content, there's something special about a host who could make you feel like you were part of a secret club, huddled around the TV on a Saturday afternoon, ready to be thrilled and chilled. Dick Bennick once said, "If something gives you a sense of revulsion to look at, then that's not really horror. It's bad taste to my way of thinking." It's a testament to his approach, horror with heart, scares with a smile. So the next time you're watching a cheesy old horror flick, remember Dick Bennick and his Dr. Paul Bearer character. Remember the man who went out of his way to be incredibly kind to his fans, who was dedicated to introducing so many people to bad movies, in the best way possible,